Hello and welcome to the On the Mic podcast today, and I'm your host, Joey.
I'm Tanner,
and
your other host.
And today we have no guests.
No guests. It's just us two, the second choice, and the Joey.
Oh, wow. He listened to the podcast, which I didn't think you ever did that. But
it was the first podcast I listened to, and because I'm normally in the other ones, and I like listening to Joey's voice sometimes, and I was like, oh, Brooks and Joey's voice gotta be real good.
It was like 5 minutes in, I think, when I actually said that, and
then you guys destroy me in the first 5 minutes.
I
wanted to cry.
I honestly didn't even think about you not listening to them because that you were in them, and that you would listen to this one or that one because you weren't in it. So I never thought about that.
Yeah. I'm sure you feel real bad, don't you?
No, I do. Like, that's terrible. Like, and the other, it wasn't even that he was my first choice. I'm actually gonna cover. I'm gonna do a bunch of
he's gonna cover his ass.
Yeah. It's not even that. It's just you and Brooks were my first choice. It was supposed to be a 3-person podcast.
A 3-man podcast at the beginning.
Yeah, and Brooks came to me and talked to me about it first, and then he wasn't there that day, so it was just us because he was with Morgan because she broke her nose, I think. Yeah, and that's the reason that was said. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about some
very serious things.
Very serious things, actually. Depression and anxiety is depression and anxiety is the main subject today, and those are two very serious things. But I think I can relate to both of those things. But before we start all the facts and discussion, I wanted to say that there is help for this kind of stuff like this, and it's a very serious issue in America and across the world. And I know that we make jokes on this podcast or even in person with one another, but that's all they are, just jokes. But yeah, if you ever need help or anything like that, just call the Crisis Call Center at 800-273-8255 or text ANSWER to 839-863. Yep, 863.
Again, that is 839-863.
You can also go to these websites, which are basically online support groups for these types of things. There is support.therapytribe.com, anxiety support group, or www.ADAA.org/support groups.
That's a .org, and I want to add something to that, which isn't in Joey's script. If you know us, or I'm not going to speak for Joey, but if you know me personally and you have a way to contact me, get a hold of me if you need, because I'm awake a lot, so
yeah, he stays up. He's a little night owl.
I'm a night owl, and not by choice. It's because insomnia, so which is another mental disorder that goes hand in hand with depression and anxiety. But as you will learn in this podcast, I have experience with both. Probably anxiety more.
Yeah, definitely.
But I also have had things with depression. And so, I mean, if you know me personally, and you will know who I am, if you ever need anything, you can get a hold of me. So just do that. I'm always on Facebook. So.
Okay, well, depression, this little paragraph here is mainly about depression, but depression affects more than 15 million American adults, or about 6.7% of the U.S. population aged 18 and older in a given year. Persistent depression disorder, or PDD, formerly called I'm not going to even say that. It's PDD is a form of depression that usually continues.
Dysthymia?
Dysthymia? There's an E at the end.
Is it?
DysthymiA. Dysthymia?
Dysthymia, I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's a form of depression that usually continues for at least 2 years. And I don't really have any experience with that kind of depression, I don't think. I don't really know what kind of depression I've had experience with myself. I just know that I'm pretty sure that I've been depressed. And it's never been
formally diagnosed.
Formally diagnosed, yeah. But I know that I've probably experienced depression in one way or another. and that I've experienced anxiety. I definitely have experienced anxiety before. I mean, anxiety is a really big problem in America too, especially in American teens and children, and people going through college and stuff like that.
I can protest. I've had anxiety my whole adult life, or not. Well, I'm not.
Your teenage life, then.
My whole, not even teenage, my whole life. As long as I can remember, I've always had anxiety, some form of it. It started out as separation anxiety. I had it real bad, and then that led into general anxiety, whatever it's called.
General. I have.
It's just a general anxiety.
I have the general anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
It's just called that.
Generalized.
That affects 6.8 million adults, or 3.1% of the U.S. population.
Yeah. I have general anxiety, and then I have separation anxiety.
That's also one I think I have down on here. No, it's not. Oh well.
But those are two that I for sure have 100%, and I've struggled with that as long as I can remember.
The only anxiety I've ever faced with, I think, well, it's probably just general anxiety. Like, a lot of people have that. A lot of the U.S. population has that. And I think America is honestly a lot more affected by, like, these types of mental disorders than any other part of the world for some reason. I don't know.
For sure, I think so.
I don't know why. Maybe.
I think it's like
American ideals are, like, a lot different from a lot of other countries' ideals, which may have a lot to do with that.
And we're also a very large and diverse country with a lot of different backgrounds and thoughts and ideas.
Definitely.
So, seeing certain other people's thoughts and ideas, can stress you out.
Yeah. Like right wing versus left wing, basically.
Yeah, politics can stress you out.
Definitely.
Cause anxiety.
That's one thing that can cause you to be anxious.
Yeah.
The U.S. has spent a lot of money fighting depression. I don't know about the statistics for just this year, but over time, I know that it's been $500 billion just on depression, and disorders like that. And I think that's just a really huge testament to the actual how big of a deal it is.
It's a big deal.
It's an epidemic, I think. And I think a lot of older generations, actually, me and Tanner talked about this earlier a little bit, like we wanted to talk about it on the podcast mainly, but a lot of older generations don't really understand that millennials and even maybe the generation right before the millennials have
some form of depression.
Yeah, a lot of teens and millennials in general have a form of depression or anxiety, and I would say, okay, I'm not sure how old the people would have to be. I would say our grandparents maybe wouldn't understand as much, or maybe even our parents if they're up in the 50s or something. An older, yeah. But that generation doesn't really. I feel like they don't really understand because in their day, they weren't.
They were just told to suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up, and
they just accepted that.
Yeah, and they never
They never challenged that, I guess. Just suck it up, and they never challenged it, and they just went on.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that it's a huge problem with teens. Why do you think teens are more depressed than in the past nowadays? I mean, yeah.
I was talking about this with my sister-in-law a few days ago. That's what made me bring it up to you, is because I was talking about it with her. And what I came up with is we live in an age where there's social media. There's a lot of social media.
Right.
And on social media we see, things that we may want. We can see people doing or going everywhere
people being happy and that just makes you feel sad
and stuff like that. And you get depressed because you're not doing that, or you see a tweet that's a couple goals, and it's they're doing something real cute or whatever.
Yeah.
And you see that and you're like, well, I'll never have that.
Right.
And you just get depressed about that. That could be it. It's just an age of being able to see everything, and you compare it to your own life.
Definitely.
And you feel like it's like your life is insignificant compared to everybody else's.
Yeah, like a big thing about social media is that you're seeing a lot of these people, like, they might not even be happy actually, but you're seeing what they post, and they like, you're only seeing what they want you to see basically, and they themselves might not even be happy, but that can, like, just that facade of being happy can kind of like make you think, why aren't you as happy as that, or how they seem. And it is like thinking like why, like thinking, having the mindset like why am I not as happy as them can make you even sadder than you already are.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible truth, but that's just how it is. And for a lot of people, that's how it is. I feel really weird talking about something like really serious on this podcast.
Oh yeah, it's real weird.
Yeah.
But then again, we talk about philosophy and all that stuff a lot. So
yeah. But yeah, the rates of depression in teens has soared over the past 25 years.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the numbers on that?
Depression and anxiety amongst teenagers has increased by 70% in the past 25 years.
70%.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, 70%. That's not... Okay, if it was 100%, that means the numbers would have doubled, right?
Yeah. Let's just say it's basically multiplying it 1 times 1.7, the amount of teenagers depressed then, or the rate of teenagers being depressed, or like multiplied by 1.7.
So that's a lot of people.
Yes, a lot of teenagers.
A lot of people are being affected, especially the younger generation.
I actually have a little bit of information from
let's get into that information. In a 2016 survey for Parent Zone, 93% of teachers reported seeing increased rates of mental illness among children and teenagers, and 90% thought that the issue was getting more severe, with it 62% dealing with a pupil's mental health problem at least once a month, and an additional 20% doing so on weekly or even daily basis.
So that's a school thing. The teachers are seeing this stuff. So
93%, let's break it down. 93% of teachers reported seeing increased rates of mental illness among children and teenagers. That means mental illness.
Mental illness being like depression and anxiety and stuff like that.
So if you think about it, 93%, that's most teachers that are taking this survey.
That's like, okay, maybe like 2 teachers in our school don't like fall into that. We have a pretty small school.
Those teachers could just be teachers that, aren't connected with the kids.
Yeah, they're just not like as involved with the children.
So there's a clear consensus that it is raising.
Basically, every teacher sees that there's an increased rate of children having mental illnesses, that being depression and anxiety, which is sad.
90% of those 93 thought that the issues were getting more severe.
Well, not 90% of the 93, just 90% of all. Still all.
Oh, well, the way you have it worded there is confusing.
Okay, my bad.
90% thought that the issues were getting more severe. So
which means it's getting worse.
Yeah.
So does that mean we're doomed to all be like anxious, depressed people?
No, I don't think that we're all doomed to be that, because I feel like I'm able to overcome a lot of stuff.
Dude,
I don't think.
You've overcome a ton in the past, just the past year. Like I feel like a lot of your anxieties and things that may have depressed you in the past, you've overcome a lot of it.
This is one thing I can say personally, and this is my own personal experience. I feel like having the anxiety and depression and having that early on really has set me up to be like, all right, I'm getting out of this. And so I use, whenever I get, an anxiety attack, in that moment, I'm flipping out and I'm having my attack. But whenever it's over, I'm like, all right, I got to get to a place where this is going to stop. And so I use that as a fuel to make me go and make me do what I do. And I look at the deepest part of my depression, which was over the past year, and I see that and I'm like, all right, that's your rock bottom. You're not going back anywhere towards that rock bottom.
Right.
That's the lowest you've that's the lowest you're ever going to go. And that's my personal goal, is to never get back down to that low.
Right. I can't even... Like, the last time I had an anxiety attack, it's been a really long time. I think it was... The only time I can remember, I know I've had one since, though, was freshman year. Mm-hmm. We're seniors now. Freshman year, it was one time during lunch, and I don't even think I had the lunch, but I was just really, like, freaking out. And I didn't even eat lunch. I gave my lunch to, like, one of the guys or something. And I went to the bathroom and freaked out for a second. It was bad, dude. I was in such a bad place at the time, I think. I mean, it wasn't even, like, it felt bad to me at the time. And that's basically all that mattered to me at the time. Like, I know that I've had worse times since. I just handled them better than I did back then.
You use that as, like, okay, like, you've been through stuff. Come on, we can be strong about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think a lot of people should use their past experience and just know that they can get through the things that they're going through.
I feel like a good portion of... I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little bit close here. I feel like a big portion of our generation right now, like, people see millennials and, like, oh, they're like, super whiny. They don't want to get the feelings hurt, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, you're going to have that in every generation. You're going to have the people that are going to be, like, off to the side. Like, the generation before us had, like, hippies. And, like, they were just like, oh, they're the hippies. We leave them over there. Right. And our generation, I feel like, eventually we'll get to the point where, like, oh, yeah, we have SJWs. We're going to leave them over there. And a lot of the older generations are like, this generation is a bunch of pansies, blah, 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 blah. They get their feelings hurt a lot. But whenever they're looking at us, we're a relatively new generation. And, the end of it is... The end of the generation is finally, getting out and, becoming adults.
Right.
Because we're
like, our generation, the millennials, are becoming society now.
Mm-hmm. They're becoming figures in society. And I think we're in the last leg of the millennials.
Yeah, we definitely are.
And I feel like, as a bunch of us get older, we're going to be, like, stronger, and we're going to be able to deal with mental illness better than previous generations have been able to deal with mental illness.
Right.
And we're going to strive towards, making sure our kids don't have to deal with it and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like going on, this will just... Personally, like, if I take my own personal effects into it, this will drive me to doing, or making sure my future children won't have to deal with it, or I'll be more suited to help my children deal with it.
Definitely. Like, because if you're a kid that ever, like, have an anxiety attack, you'll know what to do.
Oh yeah.
You'll know how to help them when they're depressed. Obviously, I mean, depression really and anxiety really, like, that needs medical attention. Which I've never had medical attention for.
I never did either.
Like, I mean, I've seen a counselor once or twice in my life, and that wasn't, like, the school counselor, but I'm sure the school counselors would do a very good job. That's their job, they love all the kids. They do. Like, I know that our school counselors really love the students. But after my dad died, it was when I was 12. I had to go see a family counselor in town, and I don't know. I never really liked it. I don't think I gave it really a chance, but I don't.
And you were like kind of shutting it off. And
yeah, definitely. I would not talk to the guy, or I think maybe it was a girl. But
see, you don't even remember.
Yeah,
that?
I don't remember that. I just know that me and Frankie would go in at the same time, and we would try to talk to this guy or a girl. I'm not sure. And I didn't like talking to the guy. I didn't like really putting my feelings on him or, like, really anybody. I was really, like, how would you say it? Like, closed.
You were secluded.
Like, secluded. Like, yeah, I was bottling a lot of stuff up, which isn't good for mental health at all, but I did it. And I think... okay, I'm about to get, like, really kind of sad.
Go for it.
I bottled it up, and I would, like, wait until, like, maybe like twice a month or something, I would cry myself to sleep a lot of times. And that's not really healthy. I think crying's healthy. I think people should cry more unless you cry a bunch, too much, for no reason. Then maybe you need other types of medical attention. But I think people should cry more. People like hard asses, they should cry more.
Hard asses.
Yeah, I don't really know who would fall under that category. Lewis needs to cry more. He needs to let his feelings out a different way instead of getting mad. That's how he lets his feelings out. I mean, I don't really have a lot of feelings that need to be let out anymore. Mm-hmm. But if I do, I just talk to my friends about it. I mean, I didn't really have my friends super close then. We weren't really all that close then. I didn't really have any friends other than my friend Josh at the time. And I mean, I didn't really even talk to him about it. I just was very, very secluded from the world. Mm-hmm. I didn't even talk to my grandparents about it. I didn't talk about it to my brother, to my family. I just kind of closed everybody off. Was in my own little world for like 2 or 3 years, and then eventually I got back in and everything. And I think that was my first anxiety attack was the only one I really remember right now. It's the one at freshman lunch. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of got off track there. I don't really know what we were talking about before I went on that tangent.
We were just talking about general anxiety, I guess.
Yeah.
I have anxiety. I have chronic anxiety attacks. They happen a lot.
Do they?
Yeah, a lot. Last one, I think I had one last week.
Really?
Yeah, and I've been I don't take medication for it or anything because I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's okay to take medicine, blah blah blah. I don't want to take medicine because I don't want it to mess with my head because I've seen it mess with a lot of people, and they're not the same person that they were.
What kind of medication would people even take? Xanax? Is that a medication for anxiety and stuff like that? No, never mind. It's not. Miranda just shook her head and made a face.
I don't think it is. I've never heard of it.
Okay, well I won't name.
We won't name any specific drug names because we're not big into the drugs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to stay who I was because I know a lot of people liked me, and I didn't want to change who I was because I was liked, I guess. I didn't want to become,
different.
I didn't want to be different. I liked who I was, but I was still, you
anxious
and stuff like that. And the only time I didn't like myself was whenever I was depressed, and I never took any medicine for that either because I never really talked about it at the time. I just kept that in. I just kind of faked it, faked being okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude.
And, but yeah, anxiety attacks happen a lot, and I really don't want to take medication for it. But there's a new trend in the world.
What's that?
They're called essential oils, and they're just smelling oils that you put in a water diffuser and you diffuse it in the air.
Oh yeah.
And they make you some of them will calm you down. They'll do this, do that. I use them for primarily insomnia to get me to sleep and get my mind to calm down. But there are some for anxiety, and I have used those before, and they help. Just medication like that. It's all natural type stuff.
Yeah. But you do know Tanner does you do know that you can seek counsel within your friends, right?
Oh yeah, I know. I have a system, but whenever I'm
what's your system?
I have a system, but whenever I have an anxiety attack, I just kind of shut myself off from everything. I don't get on my phone. I don't do anything like that. I just lay in bed, and then after the fact, I'll talk to someone, and but yeah.
I don't have these very often anymore, but I used to I think I had one probably 2 weeks ago or something, and it's not really an anxiety attack, but it's a really mini anxiety attack. It's where everything just sounds louder, and I just can't be around anything. Even when I keep everything super quiet, I'll go to a room, I'll just be in there, and it's quiet. Everything I can just still hear. I don't know, maybe it's schizophrenia. I don't think I have schizophrenia.
I don't think it's schizophrenia. I think
But
you're just like...
I just like...
You get frustrated with it?
Everything's just super loud, and I don't know how to deal with that, man. It's just like, what is going on? Like, because I'll try to listen to music, and it just sounds so fucking distorted. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. It was weird. Maybe that's something all on its own, but...
I never heard of that.
No, it happens too often. More often than I'd like for it to happen.
You should probably get that checked out.
I probably won't.
Yeah, I feel you. Probably should, but probably won't. That's about how I live my life. Probably should. Yeah.
Like filling out those college, not college applications, but those what are those scholarships. Probably should have done that, but I didn't.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm stupid.
I did one.
I think I did one.
Oh, damn it! Now you're bringing that crap back into my
No,
life.
yeah. See, like that's the thing. A lot of kids though, they're stressed out, and it keeps them anxious about college, what they're going to do for the rest of their life. You know, college kids, they get stressed out about those type of stuff, and like anxiety and depression has a lot to do with stress.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a vicious cycle. Like stress causes depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety can cause you to stress out more.
Yeah.
I think like this is like I don't know. I feel like it's first world problems, but it's just hard, you know.
Well, if you think about it, what is rain to an ant compared to what rain is to us? Rain to an ant,
I guess it's deadly, right?
Could be deadly, but rain to us is a minor inconvenience.
That's true.
You gotta look at it through perspective.
That's perspective is definitely I like that philosophy. I like that philosophy.
I am wise, young grasshopper.
You are.
Oh, but yeah.
I'm gonna read.
I even said it kind of wisely.
Yeah.
But what is rain to an ant than what rain is to us?
Yeah, man. That
Furthermore, you are a bitch.
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Nevermore.
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. Then quoted the raven. Nevermore. You gotta like get that crazy eye on, like.
Oh yeah, just that kind of half squint on one eye and just like the wide eye with the other. Nevermore.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Kind of crazy, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna read another survey.
Surveys
from the
survey says
the American College Health Association surveyed 100,000 college students at 53 U.S. campuses and found that 84% of the U.S. students feel unable to cope.
54%. 84%.
84% of the students feel.
God damn.
that they are unable to cope. 79% are exhausted, and 60% feel very sad, and more than half are experiencing overwhelming anxiety. What does that tell you about college, man?
Good God.
College is stressful. Like I don't think that like once you get into real world, it might be less stressful, but you don't really see that many like surveys from the real world people. Like you see college students because it's like known that it's stressful.
Yeah.
You're trying because like that's when you're still figuring out everything out. It's like college to adult life is like middle school to high school. I think I just feel like you're trying to figure yourself out, trying to figure out who you are. Yes, and I don't know. That's the only reference I have because that's the only thing I experienced. Actually, I don't remember much of middle school at all.
I don't either.
It's like a blur up until 8th grade. Like, and I barely remember 8th grade.
This is a part of mental illnesses. So a lot of people have coping mechanisms.
Right, and yours is like blocking stuff.
Mine is completely forgetting stuff.
Mine is not talking about it and just keeping it to myself. Is that a coping mechanism?
I don't think it's a coping mechanism.
I think it's just bottling stuff up.
Yeah,
dangerously until one day I wake up and I bring an AK-47.
No! You didn't hear that.
I'm not going to cut that. I should. I cut something out last week, actually.
That's probably a good thing.
It was... I don't even know if that's... I don't know.
It's probably a good thing that you cut something out that last week.
It was just one little thing that one little detail that couldn't be said.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And the thing with social media is that I'm gonna reset.
Hold on. I was gonna say something. Oh, my coping mechanism. So I just forget. So like a bunch of my traumatic things, I just like, I just don't remember because I choose to forget, and I don't know if that makes it like a strength that I can just be like, shit, I don't remember, and like all my problems are gone because I don't remember.
The thing is, I don't think you truly forget. I think it'll pop up sometime or another.
Well, I'll never know.
But you might, like, one day you have like a memory that you don't know where it came from, like
DMS flashbacks.
DMS has drive.
Oh fuck! Somebody will be like, demonstrate responsibility, and I'll be like, ah!
Demonstrate responsibility. What else is there? I don't know.
Respectfully behave, inspire others, encourage safety, and value learning.
Wow.
DMS has drive.
What about
value learning, and encourage safety.
Okay, yeah, you said that backwards.
I did.
Dude, did you remember that?
Yeah.
God, that was like drilled into your head, wasn't it? It's kind of like how America drills in the national anthem. Wait, is it a national anthem or... No, not the anthem, but the pledge to their students.
We don't need to talk about that.
We do that every morning at our high school. We say the pledge.
It's a little culty.
It's like every time we do it, it reminds me a little bit, just a little bit. Don't like take this out of
context.
At all. It reminds me of North Korea and how they do their stuff.
Yeah.
It does, honestly. Like if you think about it, I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Yeah, we're pledging allegiance to a fucking flag.
Kids don't understand what that means. Like, kids in kindergarten don't understand what that means.
Yeah, people don't understand what it means until, you get older. And
and then you're like, I was in a cult, essentially, called America.
Hell, I like this cult.
We're in North Korea.
I'm not dead yet. I like it.
I'm
well-fed.
You're right. We're a better cult than North Korea is.
We're a really good cult.
We're a good cult.
We have good benefits.
We're like... Not
very
super,
capitalist.
We're not super stable.
We're capitalist.
The thing is, like, patriotism is drilled into the heads of American children.
Yeah,
but that's okay. I think that's okay because I think it's because I'm a patriot myself.
Yeah, it's all right.
I think like other people, like looking in, are thinking like, "What the fuck is going on?" And that's insane. But we're just like so used to it, so we're like, "Yeah, that's cool."
Like, it's not even a big deal. Like. Okay, you're loyal to your country. Okay, like, cool. You're loyal to your country. Yeah, you're not gonna go be a spy for Germany for fucking no reason. Good.
I guess you're right. I guess there are definitely benefits to drilling in patriotism, because then you're like then you don't have anarchists on your hands, and you don't have like terrorists.
Oh dang it! We got to the bottom of it.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we do it, because we don't want rebellions.
No rebellions. No fucking hunger. No Hunger Games. If you want to stop the pledge, you're gonna have to do the Hunger Games.
That's probably true. But okay, I wanted to get back on the note of like how social media
made a cool little pinky ring out of staples.
Nice.
See that? That's pretty cool.
But yeah, social media and just technology in general. Okay, I want to say a different thing before I get on that point. It's worth noting that the rates of bullying haven't really increased in the past 10 years. It's just that technology amplifies what's already there. Mm-hmm. Meaning, like, cyberbullying can cause children with who already have depression and anxiety to, like, because there's a statistic around here. Yeah, it's right here. Approximately 20% of teens will experience depression before they reach adulthood. Between 10 to 15% of teenagers have some symptoms of depression at any one time. Depression increases the teen risk for attempting suicide by 12 times. I think...
What was that last statistic?
Depression increases a teen's risk for attempting suicide by 12 times.
Good goad.
No, it's bad.
Good goad.
I mean...
That's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't attempted it, but I've thought about it before. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's deep. I know.
It's deep. It's hard hitting.
It is, but it's the truth, and I want to be honest. Even though I don't know. I probably shouldn't be on the internet, but you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Maybe this is for posterity. You know, maybe that's what this podcast is for.
Maybe.
I know I'm not doing it.
We can look back on it.
I know I'm not doing it for my fans.
Yeah.
What fans?
Yeah.
I know only one person who listens to this whole podcast all the way through.
Who's that?
Tyler Murray. Yeah, he listens to these podcasts all the way through.
That's awesome.
He likes podcasts, so you know.
That's awesome. Gage listens to a lot of them. I know. Shout out to Gage.
Oh, that's cool.
He's been a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, look
What
at that.
are you doing?
I'm looking at a Lucas Mo vlog.
Oh, don't do that yet.
Well, it's a sneak peek of it.
Oh, a sneak peek.
Yeah.
Go follow Lucas Mo.
He was our first guest.
Yeah, he was our first guest. If you go back to the first podcast, he
that was a good podcast.
It was, I think. Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of basic stuff. Nowhere near as like sad as this one is.
No, it wasn't sad at all.
It wasn't. It was very
depressing.
It was very hopeful.
Like this one.
Oh man. But I think this one's very appropriate for like us, just us.
Yeah. Without a guest.
Yeah.
This is our first show without a guest.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Last week didn't count because Brooks is technically a guest.
Brooks technically a guest, just a temporary co-host for that day. Yeah. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Go if you haven't, check him out. Check out Lucas Mo. He's a good friend of mine and Tanner's.
Oh yeah. We just finished up a script today that I wanted you to read.
Me?
Here in a little bit. Yeah.
I want to read it on this.
No, not on here.
No, not on here.
I don't want people to take my fucking intellectual property.
Your intellectual property. I think if you have it timestamped, it's basically copyrighted.
It's on Google.
All right.
The docs. Anyway, we're gonna have to end it here soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. This one was a shorter one.
It was,
but that's okay. I think there's not.
Yeah.
Between the two of us.
I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Yeah. But I think between the two of us, we have an appropriate amount of like
experience
with it. Like you, since you can remember, which isn't much because you skipped a few years in your memory.
Yeah,
because your coping mechanism. In my like maybe I don't want to say probably 4 years, just all of high school. I'll say had anxiety. Maybe middle school too. 7 years then. And
I've had it for.
We'll just say 15 years. No.
Yeah, let's generalize it. 15 years.
15 years. 15 plus 7. That's 22. Math.
That's older than both of us.
Older than both of us. Not combined.
Combined. We're 10 and 11.
We're 10 and 11.
We're 21 combined.
21. God, no. Why did I do that? Why did I do that joke? That's stupid.
Because the internet subverts jokes into our minds so we can recall them at any time.
Oh my God, I hate it. Like,
what do the numbers mean, Joey?
Like earlier, me and Tanner were planking, and Mason, my friend Mason, he thought that meant like the plank where you
like
just
the meme plank,
where you just lay flat on your face. No, we were planking as in like the workout plank.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have to end that here because it's time for us to go about. We want to thank you as always for listening to the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
It keeps us going, makes us want to do it more, and I want to do it a lot. So I hope you guys enjoy them because we sure enjoy making them, and we'll probably make them until we don't enjoy them anymore. So,
which I mean, it could be any time. Like we're very we have like fickle tastes.
We have fickle tastes.
But another thing, I will put some of my sources into the. I'll put the
sources.
I'll put the information about the hotlines and helplines and all that, and the websites for support groups and support group chats and all that. I'll put that all in the description below, and I'll put the I'll cite my sources and it doesn't really matter, but I'll cite my sources in the description below as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little podcast for today. Tanner, you excited about prom tomorrow? I know we're recording this on a Friday. Let's go up on a Monday. Are you excited about prom tomorrow?
I'm excited.
Me too.
That's tomorrow. I'm getting a haircut in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, I'm cutting it real close.
I'm thinking I'm getting my eyebrows done this afternoon, which is the first time I've ever got my eyebrows done.
Dude.
Hopefully it comes out good.
I learned to do it on my own.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, can you do it to other people?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe after today. I already got an appointment set up.
My way is very painful, though.
Is it?
Yeah. I do plucking.
I like plucking. It feels nice to me. Maybe it's just my want for pain.
Anyway, now there's some staples on the floor, and that we...
Wow, you're crackling.
Wow, I am.
Okay, then maybe you don't talk.
Man.
I'm going to mute your mic, and I will out the show. Okay, Tanner, you say your goodbyes.
Bye, everybody.
All right, like I said, there's a lot of...
I wish I was here still.
You can kind of hear him, which is sad. Like I said before, there's a lot of... my sources I cited in the... not the comments, but the fucking description below. And they're the helplines and all the information for the hotlines and stuff like that are in the information below. If you ever need help, if you're going through depression or anxiety or anything like that, there's a lot of ways to get help for that.
I feel like I'm shouting a lot whenever we record these.
I think you might be. Maybe it's just... I don't know. Okay, Tanner's talking to me. I'm sorry. But yeah, we'll see you... We'll see you again next week, maybe. It depends on how things go. I was thinking about not even doing one this week because of the short week. We were off Monday.
We did it anyway.
We did it anyways because we enjoy this stuff. Again, next week probably. You gonna be there? 12 o'clock? Good.
Oh, I missed. Hold on.
Damn it, Tanner.